What's going on? Welcome back to Fanatic Journey. So today we're going to talk to you about Ethereum Classic. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down on what's been really affecting ETC, and go over everything else that you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Always greatly appreciate that. And with that said, let's get right to it. So right now, ETC is pulling back 2.95%, very much linked to the technicals. There's been no news to really justify this downtrend today other than the technicals. Right now, fear and greed index is at 78. So extreme greed. This is why you've seen a nice bounce up, especially in Bitcoin and through Bitcoin, other coins as well as a byproduct. But people's appetite for risk has gone up dramatically. And the data points that have been coming out have shown the economy is very strong. So again, I think that's kind of a good thing for cryptocurrencies, and especially with the whole Bitcoin ETF unveiling not necessarily going as planned, I feel like this might be a second possible wind. Going into next week as well, though, you do have CPI. So if this data is very positive, similar to the data that just came out, then you are going to see crypto run like you've never seen it run before. So crazy stuff potentially could come down the pipeline. When it comes down to ETC though, it has been building a very strong base. So for those of you that do watch my channel, you know I say that I would much rather have this, a nice laddered approach, rather than a vast spike up. Even though spikes are very sexy, very exciting, and all the other fun crap, but it doesn't have strong support levels. So I would much rather have this than this any day, only because this is a lot better, I think, bigger picture for the technicals and whatever else. ETC is kind of an interesting component only because it does have a lot of shorts. So this is why you frequently do see a lot of spikes with ETC, but whatever, it is what it is. As I like to bring up though, looking at the number of merchants accepting ETC as a form of payment, right now it is at 1,237 up for this month. And I like to look at this because it does show integration in society. And I think that's just, once again, a bigger picture kind of thing for ETC. For those of you that do like charts like myself, then you can kind of see a nice uptrend that has been happening over the last little bit. Once again, I would much rather have this than a very quick spike up of growth of customers and then absolutely nothing. This is a lot more advantageous, even though it is slowing a little bit, but nothing really to kind of be concerned for, in my opinion. But moving on though, looking right here, ETC is ranked number 24 based on market cap. So it hasn't really moved all that much over the last little bit. So hopefully there is going to be a nice push up higher. I don't know if that's going to come from a short squeeze, because over the last little bit, I think over the last 1 year exactly, shorts have had about 3 squeezes. And so of course that could happen once again, push ETC significantly higher, especially with that whole Bitcoin unveiling or the ETF unveiling. I believe ETC did reach 19. I could be wrong, or it might have been around this time period or around this range, 19, 20, 21, something like that. But it definitely did outpace a lot of the alternate coins around it. Looking right here though, as far as the liquidation, I always like to see who is selling. So especially with the whole ETF unveiling, this is why you do see a very swift short squeeze happen. But aside from that though, you do see more and more short closing out their positions over the last little bit, corresponding with the price going higher. So maybe they are anticipating something big to potentially come. As of today though, there hasn't been all that much, so only long seem to be closing out some of their positions at that stage. But no matter what though, I do feel that bigger and better things will be coming ETC's way. It's just patience. I've said time and time again, even though it did have quite a lot of good spikes up, I'm still holding my average $44. I haven't really done all that much with it because I do feel that things are going to develop. It's going to take time. So I bought it. Not really watching it all that much. Obviously, depending on how much you have in it, you might be more inclined to take profits or whatever else. So let me know your thoughts on that and give yourself a shout out. Have you been buying over the last little bit? Have you been selling? What have you been doing with ETC? Aside from all of that fun jazz, with it at $25.70, it is trading between this pivot and this R1. So $25.98 is going to be that next strong resistance. Vice versa, you'll want to watch this $24.75 to hold. over the last little bit, it did in fact bounce off of that. So you'll just once again kind of have to watch to see if that does hold a second time. Right now it is consolidating on the technical, so I am looking at the 1-day chart, 7, 25 and 100-day moving averages, Bollinger Band, stochastic RSI, and momentum. So right now, looking at stochastic RSI, it's just way too hot. So right now it is just consolidating, still very much healthy for the technicals, bigger picture. But you always have to look at the 4 hour, the 1 hour, because everything feeds into one another. So looking at the 4 hour, this is where you can kind of see a little bit closer it just being exhausted. It did actually look like it wanted to transition from the higher to the lower percentile of the Bollinger Band. It was met with some very strong support, bounced off of that. So of course that's kind of a good thing, but it's still in consolidation. So if this does fail to hold, and plus if it does fail as well to break out from this level, it is going to consolidate even more into maybe the mid 24s. And this is where things get very interesting, because if it does break below that, then 23.53 is going to be the next strong support, and then 22.77 and so forth. The fact that I think that ETC is maintained and stayed in the 20s is a pretty big accomplishment. 2023 has been crap. Some people might disagree for ETC, but it hasn't really done all that much. And so the fact that it's actually maintaining and staying in the 20s, I think that's kind of a positive sign in my opinion. Moving on though, looking at the 1 hour chart though, you do see that consolidation, but this is a little bit more optimistic. Stochastic RSI has cooled off quite a lot. So this is where you're gaining more and more momentum. So over the next candle in the 4 hour, you're going to see the byproduct of this momentum. And like I said, if it does fail to break out, then this is where you're going to see further consolidation on the technicals. So I think overall right now it's kind of just stuck in limbo. Interestingly enough, when I started to cover ETC, there wasn't really so much integration between equities and the crypto market. Completely separate. There's obviously one here and there and whatever else, but technically though, it was just separate. So this is why you saw day traders pumping coins on weekends. Like randomly, just every coin was going up on Saturday and Sunday. That's kind of when I started to really get involved in ETC. And then now, especially with the Bitcoin ETF, so many miners, you are seeing big money trying to prioritize kind of spikes up during Monday through Friday, not so much on the weekend. So it's kind of a different dynamic that's been happening. Of course, there's randomness, so that's not always the case, just only Monday through Friday, but generally speaking, big money does dictate where things go. This is why a lot of people like to follow what whales are doing and who, like where they're getting into and whatever else. So I think ETC is building a very strong base, as I've said. So bigger picture, things are kind of developing both on the actual ecosystem and on the technicals. So let me know your thoughts on ETC. Give yourself a shadow. Have you been buying? Have you been selling? What have you been doing with ETC? One final thing I just wanted to share with you, take advantage of this promo. Even though it is related to stocks, it is still free stock, so take advantage of this. Please sign up for an account with 𝗪𝗧𝗪, throw $100 at it, and you get 5 free stocks. So just take advantage of that. That's one of the best deals in the market. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.